Hey everybody, welcome back to Unicycle School. Today we're going to be talking about the 360 hop twist and some of its potential for your riding. So the 360 twist is a relatively simple trick to learn, and I don't actually think this will be that long of a tutorial. So I'm just starting things off with some cool B-roll of me cleaning my training dojo, because if you take care of your favorite spot, your spot will take care of you in return. The only trick you really have to know how to do in order to practice 360s is your 180s and half cabs. Except not like this. While it's definitely good practice to be able to twist both directions, when we're doing 180s in a line, we're going to want to remember to rotate them in the same direction. It's just way better style to half cab out in the same direction that you 180'd in. I mean, I guess it's personal preference, but I just feel like as your teacher, it would be wrong for me to not talk about your style and why it matters. Anyway, it's finally time to talk about the 360 twists, so let's get into it. The way we're going to build up to this might remind you of an exercise we practiced earlier when we were just learning to 180 and half cab. By now, these 180 bounce half cabs should be pretty easy for you. So let me introduce this handy pie graph that's going to help us break up the 360 into easier chunks. It can help to imagine you're riding forward and you saw this thing on the ground. You'll start with a 90-degree pre-hop, do a full 180 twist, and then another 90-degree correction hop to finish the full 360. Your goal here should be to decrease the size of the correction hop at the end until you can comfortably do a full 270-degree twist. So 3/4 of the circle in the air. That's all you need. Now you can do this. Just kidding. Here we go. Next step. So we started by 360ing in 3 hops, and then we reduced it to 2 hops. Now, of course, it's time to do it all in 1 hop. But there's a way we can make that even a little easier. We're going to replace the initial pre-hop with a carve on the ground. And we're going to try to swap the correction hop at the end for a little bit of a fudged landing with our tires staying on the ground. So to do this carve, when you're about 1 rev out from the twist, you're going to want to start leaning in slightly in the direction of your twist. Use the last rev of your run-up to finish 90 degrees of the twist before you even leave the ground. Swing your arm through and jump to do as much of the twist in the air as you can. It's okay if you only get about 180 degrees. When you land, focus on rotating your body while staying on the ground to finish the 360. And that's essentially the system we're going to use for the rest of this learning process. Except we're going to decrease how much we carve and how much we fudge at the end. Obviously, the goal is to get a perfect full 360 every time, but I think when you get to the range on this graph, where you're barely carving in and barely fudging at the end, you'll have really nice looking 360 twists. If you're having a hard time getting the full rotation, it can help to focus on what you're doing with your free hand. So you can see I ride in a symmetrical stance, which means I hold the handle with the opposite hand as my front foot. If you share this symmetrical stance, I recommend you rotate away from your front foot. During your roll-up, you can wind up with an arm kind of behind your back. Then look over your shoulder, being sure to make this exact face. Then, just as you leave the ground, you're going to swing your arm through, punch across your chest, and that will help you get the rotation you need for your twist. If you ride in an asim stance, like my friend Elliot Bateman here, meaning you hold the seat with the same hand as your front foot, then your motion will be a little bit different. Although I still recommend that you rotate away from your front foot. So yeah, for those of you keeping score at home, no matter what your stance is, I'm going to recommend the away from front foot twist. L's pretty good at these 360 twists, so you won't see his arm move too dramatically, but to initiate the twist in an asim stance, you'll pull your free arm behind your back instead of punching across your chest. Here's what the motion looks like a little more exaggerated. The truth is you can use either arm motion while holding the seat with the same hand to twist in both directions. Twisting the direction opposite the one you're comfortable with is called an oppo twist, and it's the variation I think you'll find easiest to learn right after learning the 360. You can try learning to oppo twist by using the same progression from earlier in the tutorial. But learning to twist both ways is going to open a lot of doors for your riding, so I suggest you do it as soon as you feel comfortable with your 3 twists. So the 3 twist is already a pretty cool trick just on its own, but there are a couple little style adjustments you can make to it to make it extra cool, like Elle's stutter 360, or Kyle's tweaked 360. But it's also got a lot of utility as a street trick. You can do it upstairs or down big sets of stairs or into or out of grinds. And not only that, but you can also combine the 360 twist with flips and spins, or both, to make some really, really cool looking tricks. Today's first homework assignment is to land 360 and Oppo 360 twist in a line. It's also never too early to try a 360 in a street scenario, whether that means just up or down a curb or a 2-set. Finally, if you need a challenge, you can try a full cab or a fakie 360. I think this is easiest if you rotate toward your front foot, which for most of you is probably an Oppo twist. And that's everything. I'll see you next time.